Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome back to my videos. I am Blitz, and today we are going to be talking about the event premium tank, the YT-34, or Y5T-34, a very odd name. It's a Cromwell body with a nuclear reactor in the back, and it has the turret of a T-34, and that is why it's called the T-34. The Tier 6 has the Sherman Firefly turret, and the Tier 7, you guessed it, has the ELC turret. So if you didn't know that, that is how they are named. All three of them do have the same body. But today we are going to be talking about the Tier 5, probably one of the best tanks out of all three of them. I do think the Tier 7 is very strong, but I think the Tier 5 is the strongest, and it will become better as less people play it. It is a total of 1,407 damage per minute, which beats the T-34's 160 alpha gun by around 100 damage per minute, so it does have more damage per minute. Its penetration is only 110, but that's not really the biggest issue. You're really not going to need over 150 millimeters of penetration to penetrate the toughest target in Tier 5. And it has just a very nice gun. The 160 alpha is pretty good, and the aiming time is only 1.5, which is really good. And dispersion's also very good, much better than the T-34. This tank also has 10 degrees of gun depression, if most people did not know that. You can aim very easily over hills and ridges, which makes this tank much stronger. The turret on this vehicle is still weak. The whole armor profile on this tank is super weak. Normally I do bring a picture or like a little clip of the armor. I'm not going to do that for this tank just because you can see as I'm aiming at it with this vehicle only using 110 millimeters of penetration. It's really not any armor. It's non-apparent. I do really like the vehicle though. It has very good terrain resistance. Its effective horsepower to ton ratio is also very good. You can see its aiming time very quick. And that was a 2-minute and 20-second match, and we already won 1,948 damage, which is pretty good. I do really like the vehicle. It's a nice tank, earns a lot of credits. You can see 50,000 credits. That was out without any boosters or anything on it. I do think the tank is strong, and I do think that if you're not even a great player at the game, you can still do pretty well in this tank and have a fun time. Now, the second and final replay is on Mirage, and I was going to push the tank up the little hill in the middle where all the bushes are, see if you can get some snapshots across. However, this was a odd push for the enemy team. It almost worked out for them, but unfortunately it did not in their favor. And this map will really show the strengths and weaknesses of these Y5 T-34s. So, pushing it up here, I spot the Churchill. I notice that nobody is going this way immediately. I notice that they are all on the other side, and this Churchill is all left alone by his very supportive team. So, I took one shot, missed. The accuracy at very far distance is not the best, but the dispersion is pretty good. But since this Churchill's all alone, I'm going to try and pick on him. And I will put a little disclaimer out there. If you are playing Tier 5 and you're a newer player, don't expect games like this. I have, 35,000 battles in this game, and I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that if you're a newer player, you want to play a bit more cautiously. I wouldn't suggest to rush a Tier 5 tank. Although this player, I don't even know what he was doing. It's almost as if he did not put ammo in his tank. Now, I will say now, I'm going to put a video on the Firefly tomorrow, and after that, of course, the ELC. I do think all three of these tanks are great, especially since you can get them for free. It is a bit of a grind, but I earned all three of them for free within 4 days, so it was pretty good. You also get a free camouflage with the event. I think Wargaming really did a good job in the event. Unfortunately, at the time they released the event, they also had a very bad job, which was the Badger. If I do release a video on it, it will be with gameplay of other players using it. I am personally not going to purchase the Badger. It's not worth it. I'll wait for them to release it probably around Christmas time, and I would suggest to do so as well if you haven't bought Badger crates. Um, but you can see already we've picked up 1400 damage in this tank, and there's still a lot of potential left to do damage here, just racking it up, and you can see this damage per minute really works. Now to take out this vehicle, you can really see it has pretty much absolutely no armor. Even the turret is pretty weak. It does have some armoring, but you can shoot right through the cheeks of it. But you can see that working this gun depression, it's just amazing how much gun depression it has. And I would say this tank is overpowered, but everybody in the game has it, so nobody can complain about it being overpowered. It's like the, the Kenyatta. If everybody owned the tank in the game, nobody would really care or run it because there'd always be one against you. So that's the way this tank pretty much works. Yeah, it is a bit overpowered, but there's like 7 of them in this one game, so it really doesn't really matter how overpowered it is. You're going to be playing a multiple of them every game. The Scavenger is still a very popular played tank, and that tank's months old. So, yeah. But you can see already we have racked up 2,800 damage. And this tank would have kept going on. I probably could have racked up 5,000 damage if there were enough enemies on the team. That's just how well this tank is. And I played these games about 5 minutes apart from each other, just as little quick games to see if I could get a good replay, trying to get the mastery in it, and that did work out. And you can see that you do want to use this tank smart. You can't rush in there and just expect to do well. You need to use your gun depression to your advantage and peek over ridges and snap shots. That is the main way to run this tank, and as you can see, it works really well. I do think Wargaming did a great job in the event. I hope they do more events like this. The tank looks great. I love the Defender-esque to it. I will say I wished it was a autoloader because I thought that's what the Defenders were, but that's fine. Really, I think this event's great, and I will see you in the next video.